every few years, we see further recognition of the importance of the environment at a global level. So the Aarhus Convention didn't happen in isolation. And even now, here in the European Parliament, we're proposing a European climate law. Why do I mention that? Because the climate law sets targets, and if the targets aren't being met, we need to do something about it. And the Aarhus Convention should allow us to hold our governments and institutions to account. Moving on to the next slide. So the convention came from UNECE, which is the United Nations Economic, Commission. I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me, I was just sneezing there. So this is what the relevant UN body and what was agreed at the 4th Ministerial Conference on the Environment for Europe. It's about accountability, it's about transparency, and it's about responsiveness. And it's really important because it is legally binding, and it puts Principle 10 of the 27 principles in the Rio Declaration into practice. 27 principles, I won't go into them in detail, but if you think of the Sustainable Development Goals as being about, 17 or 19 goals, they almost mirror them in terms of involving people and thinking about the environment. So going on to the next slide, you can see that the full principle that had been adopted back in 1992, 6 years previously, was let's get people involved in making decisions about the environment. Let's make sure that they get the right information and that they can participate in the decision-making process. And this sounds, relatively straightforward, but in some countries, Ireland included, it can be very difficult to deliver on all these three issues. So moving on to the next slide, I'm just highlighting participation of citizens, access to information, public participation, and then access to judicial proceedings. If you don't like the decision, what can you do about it? So these are what is involved. Moving on, then, just distilling the pillars of our house down to 3. Remember, you should be able to get the information. You should be able to be involved in the making of the decision. And really, if you're unhappy with the decision, you should be able to do something about it. You have access to justice